This is mainly a response to How the World Works, and all the clamor about his vids. I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but his basic ideals of individual rights happen to be spot on, and I'm happy to see it. Thunderfoot made a video response which was, in frank honesty, deplorable. His relation of capitalism to slavery was not only a display of his gross misunderstanding of capitalist fundamental roots, but an abject attempt to pull on the heartstrings of his viewers despite a completely irrational and non sequitur argument. Recently I have noticed a trend in his vids where he points out the rhetoric of his adversary while spamming his audience with a venerable mountain of his own.
Muppet boy's laughing boy, small-minded Muppet. The captain stares a lot if Mr. I like staring think money-grubbing subscriber whores, category 5 grade moron juice, money-grubbing trolling subscriber whore.
Nice. That's the way to do it, Thunderfoot. Take the high road. And while you're at it, why don't you make fun of the fact that he stares a lot at his camera, or that the graphics on his introduction have the world spinning backwards, as if any of that has anything to do with the argument that he's proposing. You're half a step away from calling him Four Eyes, or telling him that your dad can beat up his dad. In his last vid, he actually spent 2 minutes and 30 seconds droning on and on about the camera staring and the world spinning backwards. That's 2 minutes and 30 seconds of pure nonsense that has nothing to do with the argument whatsoever. I will give him that his points regarding climate change are well put, and I agree with him 100% on this. I also agree with him regarding the death penalty. Again, this is good stuff with actual substance, after you sit through the first half of ad hominem bullshit. Most of it being attacks regarding how the world works looks when he's staring at his camera, or how he accepts donation for his channel to make a profit. Well, let's see what Thunderfoot himself has to say about these sort of small-minded attacks.
Hey there. I just thought I would appear to explain why I never appear in my videos. I think that actually appearing in the videos is essentially a hostage to fortune in that it doesn't add anything to the message, and indeed it actively detracts from it in that a creationist may be frustrated by his inability to find any factual or logistical errors in the message, can easily attack the physical appearance of the presenter. You know, it's this simple ad hominem attack, you know, you're too ugly to present a reasonable argument or something.
Or maybe calling him something like,
The captain stares a lot,
or,
if Mr. I like staring think.
The second point I want to make is, why don't I take any money, why don't I make any money off the channel? And the reason for that is essentially the same as the first, that this is something that could be portrayed as a conflict of interests. In other words, it's fairly easy to spin it. In other words, it's fairly easy to spin it. In other words, it's fairly easy to spin it. That you're not doing this because you believe any of this stuff that you're saying, you're just doing it for the money. And I'm happy to do what I do as an act of giving, and in doing that I also keep the message less open to these essentially ad hominem attacks. You know, not attacking the actual message itself, attacking the motives of the message or the appearance of the message or whatever.
so you mean ad hominem attacks like,
Money-grubbing trolling subscriber whore.
frankly, this sort of shit is beneath you. Your points about climate change are good enough to stand alone without this sort of sophomoric bullshit. When it comes to the rights of individuals, I think How the World Works steamrolls over you. Rights are not decided by the collective, or by the republic, as you put it.
Without society there are no rights, and those rights are decided by the collective.
They are certain inalienable rights that the collective and government recognizes as being present and above any say-so of the collective. But honestly, that's beside the point. My point is simple. Take your own advice. Stop the bullshit, weed out the useless ad hominems, and stick to the facts. Doing what you're doing now makes it look like you're
Frustrated by his inability to find any factual or logistical errors in the message.